Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to a new video. I've been looking at my channel and I figured why not make a new video since I haven't uploaded in like a month and even more, so I'm sorry for that. I'm not going to talk about the reasons behind that. It's for a different video. And I'm kind of sick right now, you might hear it in my voice. Hopefully that is not that troublesome. So today I'll be showing you a little simple, really simple checkpoint system in Unity. We have our little models over here that represent the checkpoints. And basically this is the start of the scene. The first checkpoint. When you fall down, I'm just showing you how this works. So when you fall down off the platforms, you basically fall, die, and you appear at the checkpoint. But when you go through a certain point in the map, and now when you fall, you can like even fall back, you're gonna appear at the second checkpoint, and so on and so forth for the third one. And yeah, so that's basically how the little checkpoint system works. Pretty useful for platformers. It's really simple, really easy, really efficient. And let me explain how I did it. So basically, I've made two scripts. One of them is the checkpoint one, and one of them is the chain checkpoint one. We have two scripts because one of them goes at the death floors, the floors when you collide with them, you spawn, or well, you don't spawn, but the position of your character is equal to a position of the checkpoint. And the other script goes on these little walls, which are little triggers that when you walk through them, it detects that a different checkpoint has been met, and when you fall down, you're going to spawn at that checkpoint and not the previous one. If you don't understand, let me just show you. So the first script, checkpoint, we have a public transform, which is the checkpoint, the transform the position of the checkpoint. The transform being this over here, so that is responsible for the position rotation of the game object. Game object, the player game object we're using. I'm using the Unity standard assets one for the first person controller, but I made sure and tagged it player. I recommend you do that as well. If you do not have the player tag over here, just go to add tag, click on the plus icon and call it tag, and then just go back to it, tag player. Next thing, void start. At the start function, I say I just find the player using the game object.find with tag players. So make sure that your player or whatever character you're using is tagged player. In the void on trigger enter, so that's when I enter the collider, or when my player collides with the other object. I just check the collider player. I just state that there is a specific collider which is called a player, and if that player.gameObject.tag is player, so if the collider that entered this trigger is tagged player, this happens. So the player's transform position is equals to checkpoint opposition, and its rotation is the checkpoint rotation, just so the player is facing forward into the map. I don't think I've rotated the other two checkpoints correctly, but it's an easy fix. I'll show you later. Basically, that's it for that script. And you add the checkpoint script to the death floors, and I made 3 of them. I'll show you how that works later, but let me just explain the second script as well. We have a public game object checkpoint as well, and here just on trigger enter collider player, the same thing, everything over here, and then we just destroy the checkpoint that we don't want to use anymore. So when we enter, that's this script goes on to the destroy 1 and destroy 2, these triggers that detect whether we've met that certain point where it's time to change the checkpoint. So when you go through this trigger, we destroy the death floor. You'll see how all this works when I show you later, but basically it destroys the checkpoint or the death floor, and it destroys that destroy game object. So now how you set all of this up. Let me just take all of these mesh renderers so you can see. So I made 3 death floors. They can just be a cube or whatever. And I've made them have a decent amount of space between them because they can't be too close to each other, because That way your game object is going to actually hit this one and not this one. Unity physics, just don't argue with them, just leave a decent amount of space between these death floors. So I made 3 of them because I have 3 checkpoints. Now the first death floor has the checkpoint script on it, and the checkpoint is the CP1, which is over here. So when you hit the first checkpoint, so when you hit the first death floor, you're gonna spawn over here where this guy is, Naruto. And when you hit the wall, which changes your checkpoint, basically what the wall does is it finds a checkpoint in the script, so the public game object checkpoint. So basically it takes that checkpoint floor that you've added in the inspector, so that this is this one, and it basically destroys this. So once this is destroyed, all that's left is the death floor number 2 and death floor number 3. So every next time you fall down, because there's no death floor 1 to teleport you to the first checkpoint, there's only death floor 2 and 3, and because 2 is above 3, it's gonna put you at the second checkpoint, which is this one, because this one has the second checkpoint as its transform. Same goes with the third one. You hit this and it basically destroys the second death floor, and once this is destroyed, only one that's left is the third one, which teleports you over here. And let me see, yeah, it teleports you over here. So yeah, really simple thing to do. For the checkpoints, I just created a empty game object, so go just to create game object, create an empty one, and place it wherever you want. Call it CP1, CP2, call it whatever you want. For the destroyers, I call them, I just also created a empty cube, and for the death floors also cube, but make sure that the death floor and the destroyers are both tagged. This trigger box is ticked, because if it's not ticked, you're just gonna stand on it and it's not gonna act like a trigger. Pretty simple tutorial, right? I'm really sorry for the absence, guys. I hope I can continue making videos at a faster pace, but it's a topic for another video that I will be making soon. And if you guys have any questions or anything, leave them down in the comments. I've been thinking about doing other things on this channel except Unity tutorials, because I'm like 18 years old. I have a lot of other things that I want to do as well. I want to live stream, but my internet is really bad, so I can't. So, for example, playing like games and shit would be pretty fun. Playing some games with you guys would be pretty fun. And I'll make a whole nother video about all the things that I want to talk in a separate one, and leave the tutorials as a separate one for the ones who watch the tutorials only. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this, guys. Hopefully it's helpful for your little platform games or whatever you're using this for. And yeah, I'll see you in a different video. Bye.